Michael's phone sat on the glass desk, speaker on, voices discussing the Singapore expansion, 47 floors up, Central Park stretch below, bare branches against November gray. He nodded at something the CFO said, though he'd stopped listening minutes ago. Daniel sat by the window, 7 years old, iPad balanced on his knees, headphones covering his ears. The lunchbox sat beside him, white cardboard, Le Bernardin logo in gold. $80 for a child's bento, still sealed. Michael ended the call. Ready to go? Daniel glanced up, nodded, pulled off the headphones without sound. How was school? Fine. Michael checked his watch. 4:47. School ended at 3:15. His assistant had done pickup. Brought Daniel here. He couldn't remember the last time he'd gone himself. Did you eat lunch? Some. The bento box sat untouched. Michael opened his mouth to ask which part, closed it, stood instead. They rode the elevator in silence. Daniel, near the buttons, watching numbers descend. Michael tried to think of a question. Something beyond performance metrics and schedule optimization. You have coding class tomorrow at 9. I know. Swimming at 2. Daniel nodded. Short, efficient, like signing documents. The driver opened the car door. Daniel took the window seat. Michael followed. Traffic crawled through Midtown. Daniel stared out. Michael checked email. Patricia about Tokyo. Board meeting Monday. What do you want for dinner? I don't mind. Daniel, pick something. The boy's shoulders rose. Tiny movement. Pizza? You had pizza Wednesday. Then anything is fine. The words sounded practiced. Daniel's shoulders stayed up when Michael asked him to choose. Michael typed a response about Tokyo. December through February, 3 months. Daniel could stay with Aunt Rachel. She had space. 4 kids, what was one more? His phone buzzed. Daniel's teacher, Miss Alvarez. Need to schedule conference Monday. Concerned about social withdrawal. Social withdrawal. Daniel had 17 birthday party invitations last year, 3 enrichment programs, straight A's. Did something happen at school? No. Nothing? No, Dad. Daniel turned back to the window. Conversation over. Home at 5:30. Penthouse. Central Park West, 3,000 square feet. Daniel went straight to his room. Michael stood in the kitchen. Stainless steel, marble. Nothing on the counters. He pulled out meal prep containers. Chicken, quinoa, vegetables, microwave, 2 plates. Daniel's door was closed. Michael knocked. Come in. Hotel suite. Bed made with hospital corners. Desk clear. Bookshelf organized by height. Daniel at his desk, homework open. Dinner in 5 minutes. Okay. Michael waited. Daniel studied his homework. Pencil ready. Waiting for permission to continue. I'll call you when it's ready. They ate at the table. 6 feet of reclaimed wood, seats 12. 2 settings at one end. Ms. Alvarez wants to meet Monday. Daniel stopped chewing. She mentioned social withdrawal. I'm fine. Have kids been bothering you? No. Trouble with subjects? No, Dad. I'm fine. Daniel turned back to his plate. Everything tasted correct. Chicken seasoned perfectly. Quinoa, fluffy. Vegetables crisp. Michael tasted nothing. We have the weekend. Just us. I know. Saturday, I thought we could. He stopped. He'd been about to list activities. Fill every hour, never leave space. What? Daniel asked. Nothing. We'll figure it out. Daniel finished and 8 more bites. Fork at 4 o'clock. Napkin folded. May I be excused? Yeah. Daniel rinsed his plate. Dishwasher. Back to his room. Door closed. Michael sat alone. Pulled out his phone. School portal. Ms. Alvarez's message from 3 weeks ago. Daniel seems withdrawn during group activities. Recent changes at home? Would appreciate brief chat. Status, read, but he hadn't read it. His assistant managed portal logins. Responded to routine communications. He'd never seen it until now. He walked to Daniel's room. The lunchbox on the desk, still sealed. He picked it up, carried it to the kitchen, opened it. California roll, edamame, miso soup, fruit, chopsticks unused, nothing touched. He stood there. Box open. Food, perfect. Untouched. He didn't know what Daniel liked to eat, whether he preferred sandwiches or sushi. If he knew how to use chopsticks, or just pretended. He'd never asked. He threw it away, turned off lights. Sat in the living room, didn't turn those on either. Phone glowing. Patricia's text about Tokyo. He typed, need to postpone. Deleted it. Typed, cancel Tokyo. Stared at the words, couldn't send. Put the phone down, sat in the dark. 7:15 Saturday morning. Michael woke at 6, old habit. Found Daniel in the living room already dressed. Where do you want breakfast? I don't mind. Pick a place. Anywhere. Daniel studied the floor. There's a diner, Jackson Heights. You've been there? Ms. Alvarez took us. Geography field trip. A diner in Queens for geography? She said sometimes you learn about places by eating their food. Michael pulled out his phone, found the address. Okay, let's go. 40 minutes. Bridge construction. Daniel stared out the window the whole way. The diner was small. Formica tables, metal chairs, fluorescent lights, coffee $2, pancakes $7. Everything smelled like butter. Daniel walked to a specific booth, fourth from the door, slid in. The waitress came over, name tag, Gloria. Hey, honey, haven't seen you in a while. Daniel smiled. It reached his eyes this time. Hi, Gloria. You want the usual? Yes, please. Your dad? Michael scanned the menu, glanced at Daniel. I'll have what he's having. Gloria left. Michael leaned forward. You come here often? Ms. Alvarez brings us sometimes, after school. To Queens? She lives here. Says it's important to know the city isn't just Manhattan. And you get chocolate chip pancakes. Daniel's eyebrows went up. How did you know? You called it the usual. Daniel's mouth opened slightly, closed. His eyebrows drew together, then smoothed. Michael watched him process something. Couldn't tell what. 2 booths away, a woman sat with a girl about 6. The woman wiped the table before sitting. It was already clean. She did it anyway. Folded her napkin, unfolded it, folded it again. The girl colored on the placemat, red crayon, focused, quiet. Gloria brought coffee, water for Daniel, water for the woman and girl. 1 pancake plate, the woman said. Split it. Extra syrup, water for both. And she checked her watch, put it down, checked it again. Another woman arrived, younger, sat across from the first. Anna. The first woman's voice barely carried. I need a husband by tomorrow. Michael's cup stopped halfway to his mouth. What? The lawyer, court. They want proof. Stable home. 2-parent household. By Monday noon. Her hands twisted the napkin. I don't know how... What about your sister? She said I made my choice when I left Marcus. And the girl kept coloring. Mama, do I have to go with Daddy? The woman's voice jumped up. Too fast, too high. We'll figure it out, baby. Michael turned to Daniel. Daniel was watching the girl. Watching her the way you watch someone doing something you recognize. Gloria brought pancakes. Sweet, warm. Michael cut into his. Couldn't taste it. The woman stood, counted cash, $5 bills. 6 of them. Left 5, put 1 back, helped her daughter with her coat. Michael stood. Dad? Daniel's face shifted. Wait here. He reached them as they were leaving. The woman put her hand on her daughter's shoulder. Eyes on Michael, assessing threat level. Excuse me? We paid. Immediate, defensive. I know. I heard. I didn't mean to, but I might have a solution. Her hand tightened on her daughter's shoulder. What do you want? I'm a single father. He gestured toward Daniel. Court summons Monday. They want stable 2-parent household. I can provide address, resources, lawyers. You provide... He stopped. Someone who knows how to talk to kids. She stared. You're offering to pay me to pretend to be your wife? I'm offering a survival pact. I need help being a father. You need stability for court. We help each other. The girl had stopped putting on her coat. Daniel was watching from the booth. Both kids frozen. What happens after Monday? I don't know. Monday first. She studied her daughter. Then Michael. Back to her daughter. Separate bedroom. No cameras. I don't wear a ring. If Emma says stop, we stop. Agreed. She pulled a pen from her purse, wrote on the diner receipt. Phone number, below it, not charity, business. Handed it to him, took her daughter's hand, left. Michael stood there, receipt in hand. At the door, the girl, Emma, turned, waved at Daniel. Daniel raised his hand, waved back. First time in months, Michael had seen him initiate contact with another kid. He walked back, sat, pancakes cold. Who was that? Daniel asked. Someone who needs help. Are we helping? Michael studied the receipt. Yeah, I think we are. They finished in silence. The silence had weight. Michael paid. They walked to the car. Daniel didn't ask more questions. Michael didn't offer more answers. On the drive back, Michael texted the number. This is Michael Chin from the diner. My address is attached. Come whenever you're ready. We'll figure out the details. 3 minutes later, 6:30 tonight, Sarah. He spent the afternoon on the phone, called furniture stores, ordered bunk beds for Sunday morning delivery, called Robert Chen, his lawyer, no relation. Explained the situation in clinical terms. Robert said he'd prepare paperwork, called Daniel into the living room at 4. The woman from the diner, Sarah, and her daughter Emma. They're coming to stay with us for a while. Daniel's hands went to his lap, twisted together. Why? Because we're helping each other. She needs a place to stay. I need... He stopped, started again. I need someone to teach me how to be better at this. At what? At being your dad. Daniel's hands stopped twisting. Oh. They're coming tonight. Tomorrow morning bunk beds arrive. You'll share your room with Emma. Is that okay? I guess. Daniel, is it okay? The boy's shoulders went up again. Yeah, it's okay. 6:30. The doorbell rang. Michael answered. Sarah Brennan stood in the hallway, hand on Emma's shoulder, 2 black garbage bags at their feet, 1 backpack. The girl held a gray stuffed elephant, rubbed almost bald at the ears. Michael's eyes went to the bags. Sarah caught him. This is everything, she said. He stepped back. Come in. Sarah walked slowly. Emma stayed close to her legs. The girl's eyes went up. Ceiling, windows, view. She'd never been this high. Michael could see it in how she moved. Careful. Testing each step. Sarah stopped in the entryway. Kept her coat on. The bunk beds come tomorrow morning. Tonight the kids can use... Where are we sleeping? Guest rooms. You can choose. Sarah studied the hallway, the doors, the space. How many bedrooms? 4. She turned to Emma, knelt. Baby, look around. Stay where I can see you. Emma didn't move. Sarah touched her shoulder. Go ahead. Emma walked toward Daniel's room. Slow. Daniel followed her. Both disappeared around the corner. Sarah stood, faced Michael. I need rules. Okay. My own room. I come and go as needed. You don't tell me what to wear unless it's for court. Emma's bedtime, meals, discipline. Mine, unless we agree otherwise. Fine. And if this doesn't work, if the judge sees through it, if Emma gets scared, we're done. Understood. She surveyed the kitchen. The counters with nothing on them. You really don't know how to talk to him. No. How long has it been like this? Maybe always. Sarah folded her arms. That's what we fixed then. Michael ordered dinner. Nobu. $340. Delivery at 7. He set out plates, chopsticks, napkins, hands busy, mind elsewhere. Emma emerged from Daniel's room, saw the food, whispered to Sarah, I don't know how to use chopsticks. Use a fork, Daniel interrupted. I can show you. Dad makes me practice. The kids sat on the floor, Daniel teaching Emma, both laughing when rice fell. Michael watched from the kitchen, his son, laughing. When was the last time? Sarah stood beside him, not close, distance maintained. He's good with her. Yeah. That's not something you taught him. No. After dinner, bedtime. Sarah helped Emma brush teeth. Michael stood in the doorway of Daniel's room, not sure what to do. The kids climbed into Daniel's bed together, Emma's choice. Said beds felt too much like the car. Michael's chest tightened. Car. They'd been sleeping in a car. Tell us a story, Emma said. Daniel turned to Michael, waiting. Sure, what kind? About the city, places we haven't been. Michael opened his mouth, closed it. He didn't know stories. Sarah appeared, stepped past him, sat on the floor. Once there was a city made of bridges, she started. Michael listened from the hallway. Sarah making up impossible places, kids asking questions, everyone laughing. 20 minutes later, Sarah found him in the living room, lights off, just city glow through the windows. She took the chair across from him, not the couch. Distance. Court is 9 a.m. Monday. Family court, Queens. My lawyer meets us there. What's Daniel's mother's name? Michael went still. Why? Emma will ask. Judges ask. We're supposed to be partners. Melissa left when Daniel was 4. Barcelona. Signed away rights. He doesn't talk about her. Does he ask? No. That means he thinks about her constantly. Sarah pulled her knees up, wrapped her arms around them. Emma does the same. Never mentions her father unless asked. What happened? He took everything. House, savings. Would have gotten Emma if I'd stayed long enough for him to file. She rested her chin on her knees. I left with what fit in the car. How long? 8 months. Different parking lots, shelters when we could get in, school every day. Never missed one. She seems okay. She's not. Nightmares. Wakes up checking if we're still inside something. Touching walls to make sure they're real. Michael thought about Daniel checking 3 times before leaving his room. Daniel does that too. Like the world might change if he's not watching. They're both scared, different ways. They sat in the dark, not talking. The city hummed 47 floors below. What if I mess this up? Sarah asked. What if the judge sees through us? Then we both lose. What do you lose? You have money, lawyers. I lose Daniel. He's already disappearing. If I lose custody, he goes to my sister. 4 kids. He'll be a number. He's already a number to me. Sarah studied him. Really studied him. We won't mess it up. She stood, walked toward the guest room, stopped. Your son asked me to read him a story. You should have been the one he asked. He knows I don't do that. That's the problem. She closed the door. Michael pulled out his phone. Found the message from 3 weeks ago, the one marked red that he'd never seen. Daniel seems withdrawn. Recent trauma? He put the phone down, stared at his hands, built a company from nothing, could sign 9-figure contracts, couldn't read his son a bedtime story. Sunday, 36 hours until court. Michael woke at 6, Sarah already in the kitchen, making eggs. Found ingredients without asking. Daniel came out at 8, saw Sarah at the stove. Can I have cereal instead? Sarah didn't answer, turned to Michael. Daniel followed her gaze. Dad, is cereal okay? Michael started to say eggs were better protein, stopped. Cereal is fine. Daniel blinked. Really? Yeah, whatever you want. The boy stood there, waiting for the correction. Lucky Charms in the top cupboard. Daniel got the box, poured, sat, ate slowly, kept glancing at Michael. Making sure permission held, Emma came out later, sleep in her eyes, elephant under her arm, climbed onto the stool next to Daniel. Cheerios, she said. We don't have those. Then I'm not hungry. Sarah poured juice, set it in front of her. 3 sips, then you can say no. Emma took 3 tiny sips. Set it down. Done. Okay. The glass sat there. Sarah didn't force it, just moved on. Daniel spilled milk, dropped the carton. White spreading, he froze. Shoulders up, face blank, waiting. Sarah handed him a towel, said nothing. Daniel wiped it up, turned to Michael. Michael nodded. Daniel's shoulders dropped. The bunk beds arrived at 9. 2 workers assembled them in Daniel's room. The kids watched. Emma asked if she could sleep on top. Daniel said yes without checking with Michael first. Mid-morning, Natural History Museum. All 4. Michael let the kids pick exhibits, no optimization. Daniel chose dinosaurs. Emma chose butterflies. 20 minutes watching butterflies. Daniel asking questions. Emma making up answers. Both wrong, both happy. Why are dinosaurs dead? Daniel asked. Michael started to explain meteors and climate. Stopped. I don't know. Daniel's eyebrows went up. You don't know? I know the science. But I don't know why things end. Daniel considered this. Maybe they got tired. Maybe. Central Park after. Cold November. They walked. No destination. Daniel ran ahead. Stopped. Waited. Ran again. He's never done that, Michael said. Done what? Run ahead. He always stays exactly next to me. That's because he's worried about disappointing you. I never said, you don't have to say it. He can feel it. Evening. The kids wanted to fold laundry. Sarah said yes, brought everything to the living room. Michael joined, sat on the floor. You're doing it wrong, Daniel said. What? The shirts. Arms first. Daniel showed him. Michael tried. Wrong again. Daniel laughed, corrected him. 40 minutes folding laundry, nobody checking phones. Nobody checking time. 9:30, kids asleep, Sarah and Michael on the balcony, city lights below, cold air. I think we can do this, Michael said. Monday, we look like a family. But we look like 2 people trying hard. Is there a difference? Tomorrow we'll find out. Michael's phone buzzed. Patricia, he put it away. Didn't respond. Sarah noticed. What's the message? Work. It can wait. Can it? I'm making it wait. She studied the city, the lights. This apartment, this view, it's like living in a display case, beautiful, empty. It wasn't supposed to be empty. But it is. Michael wanted to say something. The moment stretched. Tension building. Sarah went inside first. We should sleep. Michael stayed on the balcony. 15 minutes, thinking about lunchboxes nobody opened. About sons who apologized for wanting. About Emma waving at Daniel. His phone rang. Patricia. He sent it to voicemail. Typed. Postponing Tokyo indefinitely. Stared at it. Didn't send. Put the phone away. Went inside. Everyone asleep. He listened at the kid's door. Breathing. Small sounds of sleep. Lay in bed. Thought about Monday. About what he'd say if the judge asked why. He didn't have good answers. Only true ones. And true might not be enough. Monday morning, 8:15, family court, Queens, gray building, metal detectors, plastic chairs. Michael wore a $3,000 suit. Sarah wore Anna's borrowed blazer. Target flats. Hands twisting together. Daniel sat between them. School uniform. Emma next to Sarah. Public school uniform. Worn but clean. Robert Chen arrived. Michael's lawyer, no relation. Simple hearing. Judge verifies living situation. Basic questions. Don't volunteer information. What if she asks how long we've been together? Sarah's voice barely carried. Truth. You've been living together since Saturday, creating stable home for the children. That's 2 days. A judge isn't measuring time. She's measuring safety. Across the waiting room, Marcus Brennan sat with his lawyer. Late 30s. Real estate developer clothes. Expensive. Emma saw him, pressed against Sarah. Mama, I see Daddy. Marcus stared, didn't approach. His lawyer took notes. Daniel noticed, moved, sat between Emma and her father's sightline. You're with us, Daniel said. Emma nodded, didn't look away from Daniel. Michael watched his son protect someone. When had Daniel learned that? Not from him. The bailiff called them. They walked into the courtroom. Judge Patricia Morrison, 56, gray hair, 22 years on the bench. Mr. Chen, you're petitioning for primary custody of Daniel Chen, age 7. Ms. Brennan, you're defending against custody challenge from Marcus Brennan for Emma Brennan, age 6. You're presenting as blended family unit, correct? Yes, Your Honor, Michael said. How long have you been in a relationship? Sarah answered. We've been living together since Saturday. Marcus's lawyer stood. Your Honor, 2 days. Counselor, I'll determine relevance. Ms. Brennan, what changed Saturday? I received your summons requiring stable housing. Mr. Chen offered to help. Help how? He provided a home. I'm helping with his son. We're partnering. The judge leaned forward. Mr. Chen, you're worth approximately $800 million. Why do you need help with your son? The question hung there. Michael's throat tightened. Because I don't know my son's favorite color. I don't know what makes him laugh. He has everything. Everything except... Michael stopped, turned to Daniel in the gallery. Everything except me being there. Being there. Yes. In 2 days. Before Saturday, I didn't know how. Michael's hands gripped the railing. She's teaching me. The judge wrote something. I'd like to speak with both children, at the bench. Daniel and Emma walked forward. Daniel, do you like living with Emma and Ms. Brennan? Yes. Why? Sarah reads to us. Dad sits with us now. We fold laundry together. Your dad didn't do that before? He was always working. Emma, do you feel safe with Mr. Chen? He tied my shoe, and he let me call him Uncle Mike. Do you want to live with your father? She gestured toward Marcus. Emma studied the floor. Daddy yells. Marcus stood. Your Honor. Sit down, Mr. Brennan. The kids returned. Judge Morrison reviewed papers. Silence. Waiting. I'm granting temporary custody to both petitioning parents. Mr. Chen for Daniel, Ms. Brennan for Emma, review in 90 days. Living situation to remain stable. CPS home visit within 2 weeks. The gavel hit. Outside. 10:47. Cold morning. Robert collected his briefcase. Judge liked the partnership angle. Keep doing what you're doing. He left. We did it, Sarah said. We did. First time they'd used we without business framing. Both noticed. Neither mentioned it. Now what? CPS visit in 2 weeks. We maintain this. Maintain. Unless you want... Michael stopped. Sarah waited. He didn't finish. The kids seem happy. They do. So we continue until the review? Right, business. But neither believed it anymore. Lunch at the diner, same one from Saturday. Daniel and Emma ordered together. Shared chocolate milk. Michael didn't check his phone once. 53 minutes. Sarah laughed when he tried to stack creamers. Tower fell. Emma said Uncle Mike is funny. Daniel said, yeah, he is. First time Daniel had complimented him. That Michael could remember. That night, 10 p.m., kids asleep. Michael and Sarah on the couch. First time sitting together. Thank you, Michael said. For today. For teaching me. You're learning fast. I have good teacher. Long pause. Neither moved. The space between them felt smaller. Michael, this can't... His phone rang. Patricia, 3rd time today. You should get that, Sarah said. It can wait. It kept ringing. Sarah stood. We should sleep. CPS prep tomorrow. She walked to the guest room. Michael stayed, watching her leave, not wanting her to go. He picked up the phone. Patricia's voicemail. Tokyo is falling apart. Board wants explanation. What's going on? He deleted it, went to his room, lay in bed, thought about Sarah on the couch, about her laugh at lunch, about we did it, wondered what she'd been about to say, wondered if he'd missed something he couldn't get back. Wednesday, CPS home visit. 2 p.m., Linda Washington arrived on time, professional, clipboard. 30 years doing this. The apartment was ready, kids at the kitchen table, homework. Sarah helping Emma with reading, Michael reviewing Daniel's math, performance. Rehearsed that morning. Linda walked through, took notes, bedrooms, kitchen, living areas, smiled at the kids. They smiled back. I need to speak with each of you separately. Sarah first, living room. How long have you known Mr. Chen? Not long. You moved in Saturday. Court was Monday. That's very fast. And I needed stability for Emma. He offered. Did he offer before or after you needed court approval? After. So this relationship emerged from legal necessity. Sarah chose words carefully. It emerged from mutual need. He needs help parenting. I need housing. We help each other. And that sounds transactional. Most relationships are. We're honest about it. Linda wrote, long note. Sarah couldn't see. Michael next. Study. You're worth $800 million. You could hire nannies, tutors, therapists. Why Ms. Brennan? Because Daniel doesn't need another employee. He needs someone who sees him as a person. Do you love Ms. Brennan? Michael paused. Too long. I respect her. I trust her. We're building something. That's not an answer. It's the honest one. More notes. Kids last. Daniel's room. Daniel, is Sarah nice to you? Yes, she reads to us. Dad sits with us now. Did he before? Not really. He was busy. Emma, do you like living here? Yes. I have my own drawer. Daniel shares his toys. Do you miss your old house? We didn't have a house. We had the car. Daniel jumped in. She means her dad's house. Emma's face scrunched. No, our car. Mama and I slept there before Uncle Mike. Linda wrote. After, living room, Sarah and Michael together. Emma disclosed you were homeless immediately prior to moving here. You didn't mention this on your housing affidavit. I didn't lie. You omitted. There's a legal difference. Raises questions about transparency. Michael leaned forward. She had nowhere else. I provided housing. Better than the alternative. Mr. Chen, I'm not questioning generosity. I'm questioning foundation. You met 6 days ago. You're presenting as family. Your son says his father wasn't there before, Ms. Brennan was homeless with a child. Both histories require examination. Sarah stood. I kept my daughter safe 8 months with nothing. Never missed school. I'm not a bad mother because I'm poor. I didn't say you were. But court requires stability, not survival mode. I need to determine if this arrangement is sustainable or temporary fix collapsing after 90 days. Linda collected papers. I'm recommending continued monitoring, bi-weekly check-ins, family therapy required, all 4 of you, to assess relationship sustainability. When we're not married, you're cohabitating with children. Court can mandate therapy as custody condition. Judge Morrison decides Friday. She left. Sarah and Michael in the living room, space between them growing. She thinks we're lying, Sarah said. We are lying. We're not lying. We're not what we said we are. What are we? I don't know. But whatever we are, it's not working. It was working fine until she asked questions we didn't prepare for. That's the problem. We prepared. Real families don't prepare. We're not a real family, we agreed. Business. Right, business. So when this collapses, Emma loses her home again. Daniel loses the first stable thing he's had. Yes, it's not going to collapse. You don't know that. You can't buy through this one. Michael stepped back. I'm not trying to buy anything. By purchasing a family? That's what Linda thinks. What Marcus's lawyer will say. Sarah grabbed her coat. I need air. Where? For a walk. I need to think. She left. Michael stood alone. Called Robert. Voicemail. Called again. Voicemail. That night, 11 p.m. Patricia showed up. Security let her up. Michael answered the door. Wouldn't let her in. We need to talk. Reporter asking about your domestic situation. Someone's digging. What's going on? It's handled. You missed Tokyo. You're skipping board meetings. You moved a homeless woman into your home. That's not handled. That's scandal. She's not a homeless woman. What? Your girlfriend? Your nanny? Your charity case? Those are the 3 options press is considering. Sarah appeared in the hallway, heard everything. Patricia saw her. Understood. Jesus Christ, you're faking relationship for custody. She left. Michael closed the door. Sarah standing there. Is that what we're doing? Sarah asked. Faking? I don't know anymore. We need to know. Emma asked me tonight if we're staying. I didn't know what to tell her. What do you want to tell her? The truth, but I don't know what that is. Neither moved, neither spoke. Sarah went to the guest room, locked the door, checked the lock twice, sat on the bed. Voicemail from Marcus, deleted without listening. Another, deleted. Michael went to his office, opened laptop. Emails from Patricia, board members, investors, questions about Tokyo, about absence, about priorities. He closed the laptop, opened Daniel's door, both kids in the top bunk. Emma's elephant between them, Daniel's arm around it, protecting it in sleep. He closed the door, went back to his office, sat in the dark. Friday afternoon, emergency hearing. Judge Morrison called by Marcus's lawyer. 2 p.m., Marcus's lawyer stood. David Kleinman, major firm, expensive suit. Your Honor, new evidence has emerged regarding Ms. Brennan's living situation and her relationship with Mr. Chen. He presented a packet, judge took it, read, security logs. Sarah Brennan, guest status, check-in Saturday, November 4th, 6:47 p.m., duration 6 days. In surveillance photos, Sarah and Emma entering building, garbage bags, not suitcases, bank records. Subpoenaed, Sarah's account, November 4th, $73, timeline, Saturday morning, homeless. Saturday evening, penthouse. Monday, court. Total relationship duration before testimony, 30 hours. Building staff affidavit. Mr. Chen informed concierge Ms. Brennan was temporary guest, not to be given keys. Michael's lawyer's notes, leaked. Client seeking custody support. Temporary arrangement for court appearance. Kleinman let it settle. Your Honor, this is not a family. This is purchased arrangement. Ms. Brennan, facing homelessness and custody loss, accepted financial support from a billionaire in exchange for presenting false testimony. Mr. Chen, facing questions about parenting, hired someone to perform partner and mother role. He paused. This court has been defrauded. These children have been used as props in an arrangement benefiting two adults while placing them in unstable, transactional environment. Judge Morrison studied Sarah, then Michael. Is this accurate? Sarah stood, shaking. We met Saturday morning. I was desperate. He offered help. I accepted. We presented as family Monday. That's true. Did you misrepresent your relationship's nature? We said we were living together. We are. We said we were creating stable home. We thought... She stopped. We're trying. Kids are happy. Emma hasn't had nightmares until this week. Daniel is talking to his father. It's not fake. It's just new. New. 6 days ago, you were sleeping in a car with your daughter. Now you're in a $15 million penthouse. That's not new, Ms. Brennan. That's opportunistic. Michael stood. I offered help because I recognize failure in myself. My son was emotionally unreachable. I was using money to replace presence. Ms. Brennan has been teaching you for free, or is she compensated? I provide housing, so she is compensated. How is that different from employment? You hired a live-in parent trainer and presented her to this court as your partner. It's not. Then what is it, Mr. Chen? Are you in love with her? Silence. Michael turned to Sarah. She stared at the floor. We're building something. That's not an answer. It's complicated. No, Mr. Chen. Love is simple. Transactions are complicated. Judge Morrison spoke. Ms. Brennan, did you accept this arrangement because you had genuine feelings for Mr. Chen, or because you had no other option? Sarah's voice cracked. Both. Neither. I don't know. I needed to keep Emma. He was there. I thought if we could get through the hearing, I'd figure out the rest. But then we started. Kids were happy. I thought maybe it could be real, but it wasn't real. It was always conditional. I was always temporary. Mr. Chen, would you have offered assistance if Ms. Brennan were not attractive? If she didn't fulfill an aesthetic or social function? Michael paused. Too long. I don't know. I wanted to help. That's not an answer. I saw my son and her daughter. I saw what I was failing at, and she was succeeding at despite having nothing. I wanted to learn. And the fact this arrangement also solved your custody problem was coincidental? Silence. I see. Judge Morrison set down the papers. I am suspending custody pending investigation. Effective immediately. Daniel Chen will be placed with his paternal aunt in Connecticut for 48 hours while home. Environment is assessed. Emma Brennan will be placed in temporary foster care while Ms. Brennan's housing is verified. Both parents may visit children under supervision. CPS will conduct full investigation, review hearing Monday 9 a.m. If investigation confirms fraudulent representation, I will hold both Mr. Chen and Ms. Brennan in contempt and refer matter to district attorney for potential criminal charges. The gavel hit. CPS workers came into the waiting room. Kids had been there, heard everything through doors. Emma cried, held Sarah. Mama, I want to stay with you. Sarah couldn't speak, just held her. The worker knelt, kind voice. Emma, it's just for 2 days. Your mom will visit. Emma pulled back, face wet. Did we lie? Are we bad? Sarah's face crumpled. No, baby, we didn't. We made a mistake. The worker led Emma away. Emma turned back once. Sarah covered her mouth. Turned away. Daniel stood with Michael, not touching, just near. Are you sending me away? No, God, no. This is temporary. I'm fighting for you. You always say you're fighting, but you're never just there. The worker took Daniel to his aunt's car. He didn't look back. Michael and Sarah stood in the courthouse hallway. 3:47 p.m., fluorescent lights, metal benches, empty. Sarah sat, put her head in her hands. Michael stood, couldn't sit, couldn't move. We'll fix this. I'll hire better lawyers. Sarah raised her head. There is no we. There never was. You were right. This was business. And I used my daughter as collateral. You were surviving. I was... She stopped, studied her hands. Kleinman was right. That's what I did. That's who I am. That's not... Stop. You don't get to tell me who I am. You wanted to learn how to be a father. Here's the lesson. You can't buy your way into loving someone. You can't... Her voice caught. Daniel knew. He said it. You're never just there. Michael sat, finally. I was trying. You're always trying. But trying is... She stopped, studied her hands. You're never just there. That's what Daniel said. And he's right. Michael sat, said nothing. Down the hallway, a door closed. Another family leaving. Going home. 10 minutes passed. Neither moved. The fluorescent lights hummed. Someone's phone rang 3 floors down, echoed up the stairwell. Emma asked if we're bad people, Sarah said. And I didn't have an answer, because maybe we are. Maybe I am. Maybe I've been a bad mother this whole time and didn't see it until someone named it. You're the best mother I've ever seen. Then why is she in foster care? No answer. Sarah stood. I'm going to Anna's. I can't go back to your place. Where will you sleep? Her couch, the car, anywhere that's not this. Sarah, please. Let you what? Fix it? You can't. I can't. We broke 2 kids trying to fix ourselves. She walked away, down the hallway, through the metal detectors, out the doors. Michael sat alone, 43 minutes, didn't move, didn't call anyone, finally pulled out his phone. Photos from Sunday, museum, all 4 of them. Daniel and Emma laughing. It had been real. And he'd destroyed it by treating it like a deal. He drove to Manhattan, empty penthouse, walked through, each room bigger than the car Sarah and Emma had lived in, each room emptier than it had ever been. Daniel's room, bunk beds, Emma's stuffed elephant on the bottom bunk. She'd left it, he picked it up, set it down, picked it up again. Couldn't put it down. That night, Sarah at Anna's apartment, couch, blanket that smelled like someone else's life. Phone next to her, no calls, foster care rules, no contact first 24 hours. She got up, checked the door lock, checked the window, sat, got up, checked again, couldn't stop. Michael in the penthouse, standing in Daniel's empty room, holding Emma's elephant, staring at the bunk beds, both broken, both alone, both facing the same truth. They'd used children to fix adult problems. And the children had paid the price. The night lasted forever. No relief, no comfort, no solution, just pain. Earned, deserved, absolute. Saturday morning, 7 a.m., Michael's phone rang. Patricia, I'm coming over. She arrived 20 minutes later, found him in Daniel's room, still holding Emma's elephant, hadn't slept. You look like hell. I feel worse. Patricia sat on the bottom bunk. Board met yesterday. Emergency session. They're concerned about reputational risk. Your domestic situation is tabloid news. They want you to step down as public face. Let them. What? Fire me. Replace me. I don't care. Patricia stared. You built this company from nothing. I thought I did. Turns out I built it because I didn't know how to build anything else. She waited. Michael sat next to her. You want to know why I did it? Custody. Wrong. I did it because Daniel asked her for help with homework. Not me. Her. A stranger. He trusted her more in one day than he's trusted me in 7 years. I couldn't figure out why. So I asked her to teach me. And did she? Yeah, she taught me I've been absent the whole time. I thought I was building legacy. Turns out I was just hiding. Patricia stood, walked to the window, studied the city. What are you going to do? I'm going to court Monday. I'm going to tell the truth. Then I'm going to lose everything. Maybe not. She handed him a folder. I hired an investigator, searched into Marcus Brennan. Michael opened it, read. His hands started shaking. He committed fraud. Yes. Sarah filed protective order 2 years ago. Denied. Yes. Emma had anxiety visits while living with him. 0 after Sarah left. Court sided with money. Michael closed the folder. Like they sided with me. You're different. Am I? I used her exactly like he did. Just paid in housing instead of threats. His phone rang. CPS. Linda Washington. Mr. Chen, I need to inform you of investigation findings before Monday hearing. Okay. I interviewed Emma's foster placement family. Emma has been withdrawn, not eating well, having nightmares. I also interviewed Daniel Chen at his aunt's home, and Daniel's previous nanny, his teachers, his pediatrician. Michael waited. Something Judge Morrison said bothered me. She asked if your relationship was fraudulent. But fraud implies harm, so I investigated. Were the children harmed? Silence. The answer is no. Every adult I spoke to confirmed that Daniel Chin showed more emotional engagement, more spontaneous joy, more secure attachment behaviors in the 6 days you lived there than in the previous year. So what does that mean? It means my recommendation to Judge Morrison on Monday will be to reinstate custody, but that doesn't mean the judge will agree. And it doesn't change that your foundation was dishonest. She hung up. Michael sat there, evidence in his hands. Marcus was worse than they thought. The arrangement had helped, not harmed. But Sarah was right. They'd built it on lies. He called her. First time since Friday. Fourth ring. What? I have information on Marcus. Patricia hired investigator. He's committed fraud, possible bigamy. We can destroy his case. Okay. There's more. CPS report says kids were happier with us. Linda's recommending custody restoration. I know. She called me too. Long pause. If the judge rules in our favor Monday, what happens? I take Emma and find an apartment. You get Daniel back? We go back to separate. We were always separate. Were we? Silence. Sarah's breathing on the line. Michael, what are you asking? I'm asking if the last 6 days were real, if you felt what I felt, if we were lying to the court or lying to ourselves about lying. Does it matter? Even if it was real, we built it on fraud. How do you build a life on that? The truth first, then we see. That's not how it works. Then how does it work? You don't get to buy your way into this. You don't get to decide we're together because it's convenient or because you learned a lesson. If we do this, actually do this, it has to cost you something. What do you want it to cost? Everything. And she hung up. Michael sat there, studied the penthouse, the view, the expensive furniture. The life he'd built, that meant nothing. He made calls. Board chair, resignation effective immediately. Advisory role only. Patricia gets CEO. Financial advisor. Liquidate $200 million in stock. Trust for Daniel. Fund for Emma. Rest to homeless family housing nonprofit. Real estate agent. List the penthouse. Find something smaller, somewhere that felt like home. Didn't tell Sarah. Wasn't for her approval. Was because it was right. Sunday night, 11:47 p.m. 13 hours until hearing. Michael texted Sarah. Tomorrow in court, I'm going to tell the truth. All of it. That I met you 6 days before the hearing. That I offered the arrangement for custody. That I didn't know if it was real until I lost it. And then I'm going to ask the judge for one thing. Time to find out if we can make it real. Not for the kids. For us. You don't have to say yes. But I needed you to know. Sarah read it, lying on Anna's couch. Read it 3 times. Typed, okay. Deleted it. Typed, I don't know if I can trust this. Deleted it. Typed, nothing. Put the phone down. Sat there. Thinking about Emma in foster care. About Daniel alone. About Michael standing in that courthouse hallway. Broken, real. She picked up the phone. Typed, see you tomorrow. Sent it, lay back, stared at the ceiling. Wondered if loving someone who'd started as a transaction could ever become something clean. Wondered if clean was even possible. Decided she'd find out tomorrow. Monday morning, 9 a.m., same courtroom. Sarah sat on one side, Michael on the other, space between them. Judge Morrison entered. Everyone stood. Sat. Before we begin, I've reviewed CPS investigative report and additional evidence submitted by both parties. Mr. Brennan, your attorney has explaining to do. Marcus's lawyer stood, pale. Records show you misrepresented Mr. Brennan's marital status, his financial standing, and his custody motivation. You also failed to disclose pending fraud investigation in Connecticut. Marcus stood. Your Honor. Sit down. Your custody petition is dismissed with prejudice. Restraining order issued. No contact with Emma Brennan for minimum 2 years, pending criminal investigation. Your attorney will be referred to Bar Association for ethics review. The lawyer left. Marcus stared at Sarah. She didn't look away. First time she'd stood her ground and not lost. Judge turned to Michael. Mr. Chin, you want to address the court? Michael stood. Your Honor, everything Marcus Brennan's attorney said Friday was true. I met Sarah Brennan 6 days before our first hearing. I offered her housing in exchange for help with Daniel. We presented ourselves as family when we barely knew each other. Why should I not hold you in contempt? Because I didn't know I was lying. I thought I was making arrangement. Turns out I was falling in love. I didn't realize until I lost them. Sarah turned to him. I've spent 7 years using money to replace presents. My son was emotionally abandoned while physically provided for. Sarah taught me in 6 days what I should have known from the beginning. Being a father means being there. I'm poetic. But this court doesn't rule on emotions. I'm not asking you to. I'm asking you to rule on evidence. Daniel is happier with Sarah and Emma in his life. Emma is safer with me and Daniel in hers. We weren't lying about being a family. We were just early. We hadn't earned it yet. And now? I stepped down as CEO of my company this weekend. I liquidated stock. I set up trusts for both kids and donated the rest, not because it's strategic, because it's right. Sarah's eyes widened. Why? The judge asked. Because if I'm going to be Daniel's father, I have to show him that people matter more than power. And Sarah showed me what that looks like. Judge Morrison turned to Sarah. Ms. Brennan, your turn. Sarah stood, hands steady now. Your Honor, I was homeless. I was desperate. Michael offered solution and I took it because I had no other choice. That's true. She turned to Michael. But something else is also true. I haven't slept well in 8 months. Since I left Marcus, I slept on couches, in my car, in shelters. I was always afraid. And then for 6 days I wasn't. Not because Michael has money, because when Emma had nightmare, he sat with her without being asked. Because when Daniel needed help, I didn't have to teach him. I just did it. And it felt like family. 6 days. I know it sounds insane, but I've been in relationships that lasted years and never felt safe. Michael made Emma feel safe in 6 days. That has to count for something. What are you asking for? I'm asking for custody of Emma. And I'm asking for permission to figure out what Michael and I are without a court mandate. If we're together, let it be because we chose it. Judge Morrison sat back. Long silence. I've presided over family court for 22 years. I've seen custody used as weapon, children used as pawns, and love used as excuse for harm. This case is none of those things. She turned to Michael. Mr. Chen, you're flawed. You use money as replacement for presence. But you recognized it and tried to change. That's not fraud. That's growth. To Sarah, Miss Brennan, you survived 8 months homeless while keeping your daughter in school, fed, and safe. You accepted help when offered. That's not opportunism. That's good parenting. To both. You met 6 days before court. You formed an arrangement. But here's what the evidence shows. In those 6 days, both children exhibited more secure attachment than in months prior. Daniel spoke more. Emma slept better. You weren't faking family. You were building one badly, clumsily, and too fast. But you were building. And then she picked up her gavel. Custody restored to both parents, effective immediately. CPS monitoring reduced to monthly check-ins for 90 days. Family therapy required. Voluntary participation. The gavel hit. I'm not going to tell you how to live. But I will say this. If you two want to make this work, do it honestly. Don't perform for me. Perform for those kids. Outside. Courthouse steps. Cold November. Sarah and Michael standing apart. Emma ran out. Foster worker behind her. Emma crashed into Sarah. Sarah dropped to her knees. Held her. I was scared. I know, baby. I'm sorry. Are we going back to the car? Sarah turned to Michael. No. We're going home. Daniel came down the steps. Walking. Not running. Approached Michael carefully. Michael knelt. Are you sending me to Aunt Rachel's again? No. You're with me if you want to be. Do I have to want to be? Can I just be? Michael's throat tightened. Yeah, you can just be. Daniel hugged him. First genuine hug in years. Michael held on. 3 months later, Saturday morning. Same diner in Jackson Heights. All 4 of them. Regular booth. Emma's stuffed elephant on the seat between her and Daniel. Michael had gone back to the courthouse Monday afternoon. Ass lost and found. The clerk had found it behind the bench where Emma had been sitting. Small thing. But Emma had cried when she got it back. Daniel's homework on the table. Emma's drawing, covering his math. Both giggling. Gloria brought pancakes. The usual for everyone? Yes, please, Daniel said. Your dad too? He's getting better at ordering, Daniel said. But he still needs help sometimes. Michael smiled. I'm learning. Sarah sat across from him, coffee between them. 3 months of learning to be family. 3 months of therapy. 3 months of choosing each other every morning. Not perfect. Still hard. Emma still had nightmares. Daniel still asked permission for things that shouldn't need it. Sarah still checked locks twice. Michael still worked too much sometimes. But they showed up. Every day. That was the agreement. Michael's phone buzzed. Work call. He glanced at it. Then at Daniel. Dad, you gonna answer? Nope. Daniel grinned. Good. Sarah raised her eyebrows. You're getting better at this. Being here. Being dad. I had good teacher. Emma interrupted. Can we come here every Saturday? If you want, Sarah said. I want. Daniel nodded. Me too. Michael met Sarah's eyes. She met his. Both knowing this was it. This was the family they'd built. Not the one they'd planned. Not the one they'd presented to the judge. The real one. Made of pancakes and homework and kids who felt safe enough to interrupt. 6 months, right? Michael said quietly. They'd agreed. 6 months of dating before discussing moving in permanently. 6 months to prove they could choose each other slowly. Yeah, 6 months. I can wait. You're learning patience, among other things. They sat, ate, existed. No dramatic declarations. No cinematic moments. Just family. Messy, slow, real. Sarah had taken a teaching job, Queens Public School. $68,000 a year, independent income, not dependent on Michael for anything except partnership. Michael worked as advisor, 15 hours a week, still wealthy, not a billionaire anymore. Enough. Daniel talked now, about school, about fears, about missing his mother sometimes, even though he barely remembered her, about being scared Michael would leave. Michael stayed, every day, proved he wasn't leaving by being there when Daniel woke up, when he went to sleep, all the boring hours between. Emma called Michael Uncle Mike, asked if she could call him Dad sometimes. Michael said if she wanted to. She thought about it, said not yet. He said, okay, no pressure. No timeline, just space to figure it out. The lunchbox sat on the table. Daniel's. Not from Le Bernardin anymore. Homemade sandwich. Made by Michael. Imperfect. Emma's drawing taped to the top. Stick figures holding hands. 4 of them. Caption in child handwriting, U.S. Daniel opened it, took out the sandwich, took a bite. Better than last week. Yeah? You're getting good at this. Michael studied the lunchbox. The drawing. His son eating food he'd made. Imperfect food, but made with presence. With time, with being there. They finished breakfast, 53 minutes, no phones, no interruptions, outside. Cold morning, sun breaking through clouds, they walked to the subway, all 4 together. Sarah and Emma, holding hands, Michael and Daniel ahead. Dad? Yeah. Are Sarah and Emma staying forever? I don't know, but today, yes. That's enough. Yeah, it is. They went down into the subway, Saturday in Queens, going home, to the apartment Michael had bought in Long Island City, smaller than the penthouse. 3 bedrooms, kitchen where everyone gathered, living room with the couch Emma had picked because it was squishy. Home. Not perfect, not what anyone had planned, but built day by day, choice by choice, showing up by showing up, and that was enough. That was everything.